Thank you. What you should expect or what you shouldn't expect. So I will tell you a story that when I was young, probably 17, I had moved out of the house and I was on my own and I had my own car. It was a Volkswagen bus that had been converted into like a flatbed. And I never ran right because my brother rebuilt the engine. So long story short, I broke down on a door in Detroit back in what would be the 70s, and that was right where the Black Panther area was. So my truck broke down, and I got out of it and proceeded to walk, trying to get to a gas station to make a call. And I was what they called at that point jumped. So it was a case of 2-on-1, but with all my street smarts, because I grew up in that neighborhood, I thought I could handle myself. But anyway, I ended up with a high platform boot to the mouth that has since knocked my front tooth out. So it's been bridged in place, and over on Saturday night, this tooth came out. So if this tooth flies out, I'm going to pick it up, put it in my pocket, and we'll just keep right on going, okay? I practiced on Sunday with my wife about her staring at my face with my toothless mouth. So that's what not to expect, hopefully. So why we do what we do? We're going to talk about what we do and why we do it in a general sense, because I want to start this process about you, basically, and thinking. And I listed my little notes here about why we work: for basics, food and shelter, to get some extra stuff, to share stuff with the family, to achieve, to grow and learn, and to be a part of something bigger. Is that compass pretty much the reasons you work? Does anybody have anything to add to that? Okay. But primarily, one of the focus points or the communications that I want to do is I want you to understand that you all make a difference. And of course, that difference can be positive or not so positive. And without going into that, the only one of the differences that is probably the worst of all is apathy, which is you just don't care. I'm coming here to just get a paycheck. Now, those reasons are your own reasons, and I'm not going to get into those reasons, but the concept or the understanding is that you all make a difference. So I've decided after 39 years that I've finally realized that I cannot control anybody's decisions. And the truth is, you're the only one that can decide what you do and how you do it. So the real question that you need to ask yourself is, why do you do what you do? So while you ponder, let me tell you, I'll come back to this later. I want to tell you why I came back here, some of my motives for doing this. And probably since my kids got out of college, my motives have not really been for money. I'm not really motivated that much by money. I like money. I can buy a boat, if I want one. But I'm not really, that's not my main driver. I had a good job. I was traveling the world in first business class, eating at the best restaurants, unlimited expense account, all the world tours, a boss that really didn't tell me what to do ever, an office of my own, by myself. So a lot of people would say, that's great, that's a great job. Why did you ever decide to leave that? Well, I left it partly because I didn't enjoy the traveling so much. Traveling is hard to do, and it's very hot and cold, so you're either running 100 miles an hour or you're dead stopped. I wasn't used to it. The other part was that I have, since the beginning of time here, I have always believed that DDI could be something better and greater. And I felt the opportunity to make a difference was finally in front of me. So that's the reason I came back. So another revelation is, those were my own personal reasons for doing what I do and why I care about everything that goes on here. But I also realize that not everyone in the company has a passion or feelings the same with my ideals and my motives. So when I realized this, as I'm driving my 1 hour back and forth to work, I just told myself that I can sell them. I'll sell you that my ideas are the right ones. And that's not so easy. Which leads me here to pose this question. Why do you come to work at DDI? What is your vision for making a difference with your job here? And maybe you all have some bigger desires that I'm not aware of. But unless you kind of share those ideas at some point, it is just a job, and it will just be a job. And I appreciate you working just a job. If you come in and you produce and you're doing your job, you get paid, I'm all good with that. But I would like to feel like I do, that people come to a place that they feel like they can make a difference at, and that they do make a difference. So that was my objective, just to get you to start thinking about that. And the next part of this is going to be how many people did go to the link and see the golden circle? Did everybody see it? Well, if you didn't see it, watch it. I can't repeat the whole deal, but basically it was a speaker's discussion about businesses and how they are successful and how they project themselves to other businesses. And it basically says what, how, and why, right? So you start with the what you make and how you make it, and then why you make it. He says that all businesses follow this same simple model. And he was using an example of Apple, and they have a simple alteration to this model, and they do it from the inside out. They decide why they're doing what they're doing in the first place, what they believe in, and so on and so forth, then how they're going to do it, and then when they ultimately tell you what they're going to make. But it's a very good video, and if you haven't seen it, this next part may lose you a little bit, but I'm going to convert this into our situation as coming from the inside out, the way I see it. Okay? So the reality of who we are right now. We believe, because I always start with we believe, this is the why we're doing what we're doing. We believe saying yes is the best way to serve our customers. We are poised for the emergency. When the emergency is great, we love to come to the rescue. So our why is yes is the best. Does anybody argue with that? And then the how we do it is our people and processes are super responsive. We use the fastest equipment and the speediest methods. And the what is we make plates and dies for box production. Want to buy some? That's what we're selling. That's what our model is. That's what our mantra is. So this may seem a little bit like more graphics related, but it does fit for the cutting die side. 2, and this is how our competitors look. We believe in products that set us apart. Packaging should jump off the shelf with impressive detail and color. We are the experts at intricate die cuts and specialty print on corrugated. We have awards to prove it. We want your on-press experience to be smooth and the final boxes to be award caliber. And then what they do is we provide engineering for tooling used to produce highly marketable packaging. You want to buy some? All right, now let's make an analogy. If you take our model the way I described it to you now, the first model version, yes is best. What's another business that you can think of that is similar? And I'm telling you, some of you people have already compared us to that already. Is there another business? Anybody got any idea that is like the Services King? It's got to be fast. Anybody? How about McDonald's? Everybody loves McDonald's. So, McDonald's. Let's look at McDonald's. Where does this model succeed? Order accuracy. How many of us hate it when we get home with the bag we just picked up at the drive-thru window and it's wrong? Speed of service. How many of you pulled into the drive-thru and saw a line that was too long and decided to just drive out? Predictability. You come to expect the same food all the time. You know what the menu is. You know what the expectation is for a Big Mac. It's repeatable. Those are some of the things that fast food service is about. Now the downsides of, there's positive sides and there's downsides. When a fast food order comes out right, you pull in a line, they greet you with a smile, they take your order, they give you your bag, they give you the ketchup and salt extra, you pull off, you go home, kids are happy, the toy was inside the box, everybody's happy. Success. Everybody's satisfied. As a customer, you'll probably go back. If you come in and the line is stalled out because of slow service, if the order is wrong, if the expectation of what the food was going to be is not where you expected it, then you think twice about that because there's a million other fast food places to go to. So my point is that regardless of what we are, what our model is, if we're good at it, there's a need for it, and customers will respond to that. But there is a good side, a success side, and a failure side to every model. Now, when I were to start and said, okay, McDonald's, a few people in here might have winced a little bit. You're comparing us to McDonald's? How rude. But in reality, McDonald's is a billion-dollar company, and they do quite a good job of it. And I don't think it's so bad when you do things accurate and people show up and they come through the drive-thru lined up and it works. So my point is if you took that the wrong way, I didn't mean it that way. Everything, the majority of what we do falls into that category. That's the way it is. That's the way of life as it stands today, is we are here because we fill a need, and that need is we respond. We produce simple, accurate products in the time frame that customers need them. So we're filling that void. So there is nothing to be ashamed about of being a fast shop, doing basic level work. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. Version B, what would be the closest business model you could think of that would resemble that version B, which is products that set us apart, we're the experts, your experience is everything, it's all about the engineering. How about Mercedes-Benz? So some of your expectations about Mercedes-Benz would be, I get a great car. Costs a lot of money, but I'm driving a Mercedes, right? So you have this status that comes along with it. They customize it to whatever your whims are. Anybody that buys a Mercedes probably doesn't just go and buy one off the lot. They probably say, I want this type of seat, I want this type of accommodations in the controls, I want all these whistles and bells, I have these choices, all these different upholsteries and paint jobs, I can get exactly what I want. Your expectation is that you will pay more. You're going to pay more for that. And your expectation is that you'll get great performance out of it. You'll get great resale value. It'll drive like you want it to. So where does this model fail? Well, my note is it rarely does because there's no confusion about who they are, and there are no compromises. They don't say you can have it next week. They don't say if you pick something that would make it a substandard Mercedes quality, you can't have it. So those are the two types of models that we're going to talk about. The facts are, is our mantra is geared for basic work needed in a hurry. That's us right now. And as you can see between the two analogies that I just explained to you, there are those situations that if you're trying to create something, the process just can't be rushed, right? In the cases of a Mercedes, you can't do it the way we do the normal. Okay, so I think one of our problems or our conundrums to decide here, and there are several questions that I'm going to ask you to think about. You're not going to have to answer. You're not going to have to, give me any response, but you can. I think that part of the reason that our success in dabbling on both sides of the fence has been spotty is because we have failed to recognize the difference and act accordingly. Does that make sense so far? So why we do what we do at DDI. This is my outline to talk about how to become a diverse operation. There's two types of work. There's plain, straightforward brown box work, we'll call it, and there's premium offerings work. What's the differences? I'm going to go through this. What's the differences and how they are similar to reinforce some things that you may not think. Both sides of the fence, the premium side and the basic side, all need to be mechanically and technically accurate. That means they need to be mechanically sound, good joints, good sealer, clean, neat, professional. They need to be totally accurate. Sizes, positions, logos, barcodes, verbiage, rubber, rule heights, bolt holes, all have to be right. They all need to fit the process. And by fit the process, I mean that flexifolded gluers must have center score and allow for the glue tab. Die cuts must have the right bolt pattern in the right position. They must strip. They must produce a sellable product. So everything on both sides of those scenarios must end with a product that is sellable. They all need to be clean and legible. Imaging qualities are expected. Minimal damage to the paper when the die cut takes place. They have to have good creases. All of them. The converters expect us to know and address that some machines are more crude than other machines. Almost all of the people that order the plates and the dies are generally not educated about flexo print and die cut. They don't know the process or the engineering required to convert conceptual box graphics into usable tools to print and die cut with. That's the world of reality. So, as you can see, the basic job is almost as complex as the premium job. There's a lot of fundamental things that have to happen for both. So some of the differences, the premium offerings have a higher expectation since the value proposition commands a higher price. This is some of the reason that if we can, we should try to have a mix of this type of work in here. Because the process and steps alone are not so far from what we do day to day. But what the customer's expectation is allows them to say, hey, that's worth about twice as much as a one-color box with a barcode on it. So they have a perception of more value. So us to be able to create that valuable color against that basic color, dollar-wise, is important for us to put into our mix because it won't take any more work than what we're already doing, but the dollar value of the work we're doing goes up. The truth, customers' view is oversimplistic. These jobs require the same steps as a sophisticated job. The manufacturing process and actions are basically the same. Here's the semi-truth about brown box. Customers' expectation is that basic can be made in less time. Expectation, perception. Brown box truth, customers view basic as a commodity product that should be cheap and can be sourced from almost any trade house. A truth. With a premium offering, customers rely on the trade house to take all the needed steps in design and execution to take the project from concept to press ready with the least departure from the original intent. Truth. Premium work is not given freely. It is viewed as more complex and therefore a greater trust in the vendor is required. This means you screw up, you've dented the trust. You don't get very many chances to show that you know what you know, especially with these high-tech jobs. On the simple side, on the basic side, people are much more forgiving. They said, oh, they made it in a hurry. They didn't have all the information. They jammed it through and got it done for us. If the size is a little bit wrong, will it still fit? Okay, let's go. Not with a premium job. There's a difference. Brown box customers are prepared for slight compromises, just as I described. The truth, customers' expectations of paying the premium price is that the trade house will intervene on the box houses and clients' behalf to assure on-press success. There is no such thing as don't touch the files when dealing with a premium product. There is no such thing as do what you think when dealing with a premium product. Premium package tools require extensive collaboration between customer service, art engineering, die engineering, the box house, and occasionally the ultimate client. The definition of collaboration is the act of working together with one or more people in order to achieve something. So the goal was and is expanding our work to include more sophisticated tools to produce corrugated packaging. How we tried, and I've been here, we tried whistles and bells. Make it new, make it fancy, make it bright and shiny. We tried special people, special assignments. We allocated, this is the high graphics group. You're the ones that are going to do it. These are the only people that can work on a Dynapro die because they're the experts. Didn't work. That along with the segregated people came a segregated workflow. It only goes through this channel. And it takes these 12 extra inspection steps to go along with it. All sounds logical, right? I can say that I was, part of the structure. Let's segregate it. Let's put it down the right people. Let's put everything. For whatever reason, it doesn't work, or it didn't work. So where did it go wrong? This is my perception of where it went wrong. We couldn't separate ourselves from the routine, and we let the kids drive the car. Get it done. Take it, shape it, stuff it in the chute, fire, and hope it works out. What it should look like. Stop. Recognize. Slow down. Take control. Let's talk. Collaboration. Point 2, someone takes complete ownership. Someone needs to drive the train. That doesn't mean one person is going to carry it from the beginning to the end, but we all need to know, I got this. I'll be the center point of questions. I'll be the center point of communication. We'll be dialogue together. We'll build this together. But ultimately, they are going to say, I will see this through. Realize the most important priority is the end result. The most important priority is the end result. Nothing else matters, and no excuse or reasoning for failure will avert this final accountability. A delivery date is only a timeline to keep the project on track. It cannot supersede method and procedure. So it's kind of like the fast track and the intensive care, those two opposites. And the last bullet is keeping the customer and the client and sales aware of what is going on every step of the way. That's key. Remember what the client's expectation is. We're the expert. We know what we're doing. We can guide you through this. We can't be, tell me what you want. I'll give it to you. Because if it don't work, they're going to come back and say, why did you do that? And you're going to say, well, that's what you gave me. And they're going to say, okay, I get it. I can't be counting on you to do what I thought you were going to do. And it's a rough row to hoe, because clients don't like to be told what to do. Box houses don't like to be told what to do. And they certainly don't like it if you disagree. But these are the things and attitudes that are keeping us from doing this type of work successfully. One, recognizing the difference between premium and basic, and the expectation that goes with the difference. That is holding us back. So how do we differentiate? We recognize and qualify a job at inception of the quote and order. This is really kind of like was my revelation. It's like, oh, we just don't recognize it. We just don't understand it. Why don't I just say, okay, from now on, all customer service is going to get a whole bushel full of stickers. One of them's going to be a Big Mac, and the other one's going to be a Mercedes. They're going to stick it on the order so everybody knows this is a Mercedes. This is a Big Mac. Their expectation is fast and accurate. Their expectation is top of the line. Cadillac. That's where it kind of all started. Then I started breaking it. I said, man, stickers, really? So then the second part of it, I said I knew that was not going to really work because it's just like all of the different color envelopes you have for doing the same thing. You know, we're all crunched into 3 days or 2 days or 1 day lead time. Why are we kidding ourselves that one's more important than another or one's hotter than another? All of the leads, all of the managers are setting priorities all day long to try to work in some kind of orderly fashion. A lot of times we have more than we can do, so somebody is going to get hurt. It's kind of the way of the world. Everybody talks about what's the most important, who's the squeakiest wheel, how are we going to get it done, and then we shuffle the deck and we run in that order. So really all the colored stuff is not, I don't think anybody's really paying attention to them or that really matters. And I don't really think that we should segregate what a job is more, this job is more important. They're all important. As I told you before, on the simplest basic job, everything's important on that job. Barcode better read right. You can't have H's on it, right? It can't read the wrong number. It can't be sized the wrong way. The cert, it can't be wrong. You can't say 200 pound C when it's 32 ECT. All of these are critical. Everything you do is critical. It's just what the perception is on the other side. But knowing that the sticker are part of it, maybe that's part of it. You know, maybe whatever the way we recognize the difference of these two fundamental things is that, all right, when we get into a premium line, we say, no compromises. I don't care what the delivery date is, including the salesman. I can't promise you that date because we don't make any compromises on this product line. If you want the basic and the date is more important, let's run down that course. But if you don't, we can try for that date, and we will. But we make no compromises on the other side. We know that the best thing at the end for you is that it performs and it exceeds your expectation. But that takes time. Can't be done as quickly. That's why we have a basic and a premium, so we can fit the needs. Beyond those things, though, is each and every one of your fit in the organization. What you do, back to the very beginning, is what do you decide you want to do to make your part of the function the best it can be. And though you all may view yourselves as being slotted into a job classification or a job activity, it's still your choice to do what you think is best. Nobody's looking over everybody's shoulder. Nobody, you guys, anybody that's working in production, the managers aren't watching what you're doing. You're making decisions all the time. You're deciding how it goes, when it goes, what to do, and that's what it takes. So honing in on your fit and your special skill sets and allowing the managers to discover what you're good at and to help you enjoy employing that talent really is the only thing that makes us different from any other trade shop, because of you people. You are all individuals. You all have different talents, and those talents are what make us unique. If we choose to use them properly, and if you decide that you want to do that, that is satisfying to you, and you have to decide those things for yourselves. That's it. That's all I have. So I will leave you with that. That's where I'm coming from. So I've kind of shared my my mind and opened it for you. I didn't spit my tooth out. It's all good. But watch the video. It will shed some light on it. And of course, if you have any feedback for me, good, bad, or indifferent, because we've tried this before. The problem with where we fail in the higher end stuff is we treat it like everything else. And if we can't recognize and differentiate and separate, then we might as well just do what we do best. And there's no shame in doing what we do best. So that's really the points I wanted to make, is everything we're doing is great. We're making money. The product, the customers, the big majority of them are happy with us, otherwise they wouldn't come back. But can we grow? Can we expand? And primarily, can we expand with the same manpower applied? Because in the sense that we can get a higher value, we command a higher value for each one of our colors or each of the Dynapro dyes that we make against the same exertion of activity on the other side, means dollars to the bottom line. Dollars to the bottom line is where the profit sharing comes from. It's where the raises come from. We can't just say we want to get more volume and we want to throw more people at it. It's not good. We want the best people doing the best activities and getting the most dollar for what we sell. That's the key. Not just for me making more money, because I told you I'm not driven by that. But everybody, a lot of other people could use a lot more money. And I recognize that. And that's the key. And I told Tom Sullivan earlier today, I said, you know, we don't share everything with the profit and loss statement. We don't show you graphs of the revenues and the costs of quality and your individual costs, other than when your review comes up, we throw it at you. So there is a certain amount of trust. You people trust the Sullivans. You wouldn't work for them if you didn't trust them. And trust comes from, you know, where they're sincere, what kind of company they've tried to build here. And this idea of if the profit shows up, everybody gets some. They've already shown that. So let's not worry about the detail. I recognize that everybody makes a difference. If you're doing everything you can individually and being smart and making us unique, the rest will just, it'll happen. So is that it? That's it. 40 minutes. Anybody want to take a shot? Got anything? All right. Plenty to think about. Thank you very much, you guys.